Hi, welcome to the video diary again. Been a busy day today. Picked up again some little dramas we picked up. First thing, phone started at 5 o'clock this morning. We had a horse that in one of the racing stables in Mornington spiked an elevated temperature. Temperature was 38.7 when they rang me at 5 o'clock. I was there by 6 o'clock and the temperature's up 39.5. So that's a pretty acute elevation in temperature. And we pulled some bloods and we started on the horse on some antibiotics. Not that I'm completely convinced that it's a bacterial infection, may actually just be a viral infection, but with a lot of race horses, they're supremely fit and their immune systems can be a little bit compromised. So often we'll just cover them with some antibiotics for 2 or 3 days and start some anti-inflammatories and try and reduce that temperature. If your horse ever gets sick, I don't stress a whole lot about temperature because often it's a really good indicator that the body's doing its job. It's trying to fight an infection. Similar to you and I, you get a bug, virus, flu, or a bacterial infection, you often get an elevated temperature. And that's your body starting to fight for you, and the white blood cells are starting to get into action. So blood results are just back. The blood came back. White cell count's actually normal. It's within normal limits. But the neutrophil to lymphocyte ratio is quite skewed through the neutrophils. Now, neutrophils are one of the first white blood cells to really get up and get going with gut infection. So they're up at 85%, which in normal we would expect sort of 60-65%. So this is a very active infection. White cell count hasn't gone up. I would imagine if you retake the white cell count in 24 hours, you'll get an elevated white cell count. So often we see that with bloods, you've got to interpret the whole thing rather than just specific parts of it. So horse this afternoon, temperature's back to normal, bright, eating. So fingers crossed we can get on board with that. Then we saw an interesting normal track practice. It's 8 clear days from racing Saturday week, so a few treatments to be done. Got them all done, so that went well, no major dramas. And then we just had a couple of routine trot ups. We tend to give them electrolyte drenches 2 days before racing, and we trot them up as well. And we found a horse that was still quite lame, so unfortunately it's done some damage to its knee. So that horse will more than likely go for a break now, depending on how it responds in the next 24 hours, 48 hours. Then followed that up today with an interesting older horse. It's a pony club horse that's had recurrent bouts of soft droppings, diarrhea, and it's not just doing as well. This is something we see occasionally. It's called inflammatory bowel disease. There's numerous causes to it, and it can be quite hard to manage and quite intensive to manage. But the positive thing is you can often do a lot of that management yourself. And by that I mean you have to really keep a close eye on what their intake of food is and what type of food. So certain horses will be reactive to certain things. A lot of horses are reactive to grass. And by that I mean they're not allergic, but they're very sensitive to changes in the grass. So it's often easier to manage these inflammatory bowel disease horses in the middle of summer when there's not much grass about, because you really are controlling the feed intake by what you're feeding them. So it's good quality hay, a balanced, steady diet with no sudden changes. The biggest time for these horses can often be leading in sort of that we get the autumn break, we get still some heat in the ground, we get some rain, and we get green grass start popping up. It can be really hard on these guys, and this also can be hard on them when the sort of winter into spring we start getting some warm days and all of a sudden the grass shoots up, and that can really upset their stomachs. So big thing to manage them and keep an eye on them. But I might follow it up tomorrow with a little bit more information on inflammatory bowel disease. Hope you have a great day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.